Freya. Moose. Look at the moose, Freya. Se där, moose. So Arne, where's Freya when we need her?
I don't know. She hasn't seen this one.
Yeah.
Normally she barks like crazy.
So this is fantastic. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. And this is what we're seeing outside our window. Arne has zoomed in. Yeah, the moose is on the lake, on the other side of the lake, and Arne has zoomed in the camera. And look at that magnificent...
He's so quiet.
Look at that amazing creature. It is so beautiful.
So cool.
And
there's a lot of moose around.
Yeah, this is not the first one, huh?
No. But we haven't... I think this is the first one we see this winter. We just see the tracks.
No, Arne. I mean, your memory is like...
This winter?
Didn't we see 2 moose lying on the other side?
Oh, that's just a few days ago.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my goldfish memory. But they were lying down under a tree, so we couldn't see them as clear as this one.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, talk about nature in your living room, huh? Freya, come on! Wow. Okay.
She's more angry at Helmer.
Now she's angry at Helmer, but not at the moose. Well, anyway, it is beautiful.
Maybe more pops up. Maybe he has a friend somewhere.
Fantastic. Okay, so now we finally got dressed and we came downstairs. It was amazing seeing that moose as we woke up.
That was a very good start on the morning, because every morning we look on the lake if there are moose around, because there's so many tracks around here. We have those in the window.
Just in case.
And this morning we had 1 moose on the lake, as you saw, because we managed to film it.
Quite amazing, really, to see a moose. The first thing you see when you wake up. I mean, it's so incredible to live next to nature. A lot of people have been wondering about the moose that Freya always barks at. And, this was the moose that Freya didn't bark at.
No, she didn't see it. Even they wanted to get out, and I said to you should let the dogs out, and then I was upstairs watching the moose because I wanted to see what the moose was doing now if they came out, and he just stood still.
Yeah, incredible.
Looking over the lake and probably watching the dogs. But as soon as you open the door, because there's this noise, because we have this lock, he was lifting his head looking at the house.
Absolutely.
And he was so quiet.
Yeah,
but he didn't run away or anything. He was on the lake for quite a long time, actually.
Incredible.
Cool.
Anyway, hi everybody.
Hello.
And welcome back to our top-rated podcast, Sit and Knit for a Bit. This is season number 2, episode 1.
Yeah.
And we are so happy to be back after a long break. We've been away for about a month. I've been to the hospital. I've been receiving post-COVID treatments. I had COVID last year. I've been one of those people struggling with post-viral syndrome, among other things. And so we were separated from each other for some time, and finally we are back. As always, your hosts,
Arne and Carlos.
Yes. And for you who are new, who have never joined us before, this podcast is not exactly a knitting podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about our life. There's a lot of knitting going on, of course, but there's also tons of other things that we do. So the idea behind Sit and Knit for a Bit is exactly that. Join us for a little bit, grab your knitting, and let's have a nice little conversation about what's been going on here lately. If you don't want to knit, you don't have to. You can crochet, embroider, whatever you want to do is fine with us. It's just, about having a lovely time together.
And normally it's the last week. This time it's the last month, or how much? How long is it since we did the last Sit and Knit?
The last Sit and Knit was probably the last episode in our calendar. So December 24th was the last episode that we did. But then the last episode that we did that was not a Christmas calendar episode must have been in November, in the end of November.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since we...
So we had to get into the mood again.
Yeah. So anyway, we're back now. I was away at the hospital. We do this little previously in our life segment to begin every podcast. But now I don't think I should say previously in our lives, because it should be previously in your life and previously in mine. Yeah. So what happened while I was away, Arne?
Oh,
Tell me.
Not much actually, because I didn't go anywhere. I was out like maybe for 2 times to go to the grocery store.
Okay.
And then I was walking the dogs around around the house, and I was working on new designs.
Okay.
And I was doing my genealogy, and I was drinking coffee, and I was watching YouTube, and I destroyed 1 pan in the kitchen because I'm not a cook. And what more did I do? I was having fire in all the ovens.
Yeah, because it's been extremely cold.
It's been very cold. It's been the coldest winter since 2010.
Yeah, it's been about minus 25 Celsius every day for a couple of weeks now, like
every morning,
4 or 5 weeks.
Very cold.
Which is around -4 in Fahrenheit. It's been really cold.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm very curious, Arne, because I mean, I did FaceTime with you every day in the morning and then in the evening.
And I was always in the same place.
Yeah, you were
I guess
sitting
I had the same
over there. Yeah, sitting working all the time. Anyway, what was the day like while I was away? Tell me, what did you do from the moment you woke up until you went to bed, or is it what you just said?
More or less. I always start with coffee, like I always do, and then I had the computer downstairs, not upstairs in the studio. So I was sitting in front of the computer and doing a little bit of everything. The new designs.
Mm-hmm.
I always work on some new design, and then the genealogy, which took a lot of time, and
Yeah.
I was like writing. There was one side of the family, almost everybody was born in September.
Oh, really?
It was so strange. It's like, what's wrong with these people?
Because they were born in September.
Almost everybody. There were like so many kids, and they had kids, and they had grandkids, and I think like 50% was born in September. How is that possible?
That's pretty weird, isn't it?
That is weird. I have a weird
really
family.
weird. Yeah, well, I know some of them. They're nice.
Yeah, but this is way back in time. But it was very strange.
And so, what else did you do?
And then I was really lousy with the cooking. I had all the things you made for me that I just heated, and then I had this.
So I made him a couple of pasta sauces and a few things that I put in the freezer.
They were really good.
And I showed him exactly how to defrost them and how to cook them or how to heat them. And then I left, of course, very worried. And I have heard rumors, well, actually, you told me, that you had potato chips for dinner once, which is not a good thing, I have to say.
Well, it's easy.
Yeah, but it's also not very healthy. You need cooked meals.
Yeah. And I had like this, like, the things that came out of plastic bags and like paper bags.
That sounds awful.
Like soup. I made a soup.
Oh, from an envelope.
Yeah, from an envelope.
Oh, God.
But I had this brunkorn, what's that?
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. I boiled the cauliflower. Then I did this trick. I had water with a lot of salt, and I put the cauliflower in salty water.
And was that good?
No, but that's something in my mind. You have to do that if there's like worms, things like
worms.
What's that? Like,
worms. Yeah, worms in the cauliflower.
Yeah.
What kind of cauliflower do you eat?
From the grocery store.
Yeah, but you cut them. I mean, you take out the little bouquets.
No, I put the whole cauliflower in salt water, because if you have them in salt water, the worms will creep out in case there's any animals in there.
Are you kidding me?
No, I did. And there were no worms, no animals.
That was my next question. How many worms crept out of the cauliflower?
I didn't see anyone, but at least then I knew there wasn't anyone.
Okay. So you know what I would have done? I would have taken the cauliflower and then I would have, ripped it up in little bouquets.
I did that later.
Yeah, but if you do it before you boil them and then you wash everything with cold water, if there's a worm there, you'll find it, right? And then you take the little bouquets and you put them in the water with salt, because a little bit of salt is good. I mean, not good for you, but good for flavor.
I did it the other way. I had water, salt, cauliflower, and it stood for like half an hour. There were no worms. Then I took it out, and then I boiled the soup, and then I put up these small rosettes.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to know it was worm-free cauliflower.
It was a worm-free cauliflower.
And then you actually went into, you've kind of savored what our retirement years are going to be like as well, by eating old people's food.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
In the sense that here in Norway, there's a series of food
It's made for...
They're made for older people who are no longer...
Or busy people.
Or busy people, but mainly older people.
Yeah.
They buy these because they have all the nutritions and it's all, what it's supposed to be. And it's all in plastic bags and you just dump them in the...
in water?
In the water. This is what we'll be doing when we get old and I'm too tired to cook.
My father had a lot of that the last years when he stayed at home because he had this microwave oven, so you can just put it in the microwave.
Yeah, you can either pop it in the microwave or you can just boil water in a pan and then just put it in there for 10 minutes. And it was funny because that's how you cook it. You take it out of the package and then you plunk it into the pan with hot water.
But it's a very messy job actually because because everything is in a plastic bag and you have to open that and then it's like so sticky and greasy and it slide out of the plastic.
Yeah.
And then you have to wash the plastic to put the plastic in the recycle thing because you can't put it out like because then you have...
It's complicated.
It's so complicated.
And it was funny because one day I texted Arne asking what are you having for dinner and then he replied coq au vin with some braised vegetables and potatoes and something. And I was like very impressed until I realized that it's all in a plastic bag. Is everything in the same bag or do you have different bags for different things?
There's two bags normally.
So one bag...
Like you have one bag with the meat and the sauce and stuff and then you have one for the potatoes.
Okay.
But...
well, at least you had food.
I had food and I have to say there was one dish which I really love. We have it every now and then when we come home. When we go to Oslo, we stop on this
it's called
restaurant.
beef snudder.
Yeah, and I bought 2 packages because I wanted to have a double portion because I thought they were a little bit small and I had 2 portions of beef snudder. And the picture on the package, I sent the picture to you. It looks so beautiful on the package. It really made me hungry. And then I made it and I put it on the plate and it wasn't close to what it looks on the joint.
And was it tasty?
No, that was so disappointing. But all the others were really nice.
So people are probably wondering, what is beef snudder? Can you explain?
It's like beef.
It's little slices of
beef and some sauce and some
Béarnaise sauce, I think.
Béarnaise sauce on the side.
And the beef is boiled with or stir fried with onions and maybe some peppers.
I really don't know what.
And then there's Béarnaise sauce on top and then French fries.
Yeah.
Was there French fries in this one?
No. It was potatoes.
Yeah. Because
No, it was French fries, but they were like...
No, you don't dip French fries in hot water.
No, it was potatoes.
It was potatoes, yeah. And not very good either,
No.
apparently. So which one was your favorite?
The French one was good.
The coq au vin?
Coq au vin. And there was 2 Asian dishes, which was
sweet
amazing.
and sour or some spicy something.
Yeah. And then, of course, the day I had potato chips, that was the easy day.
How about when you had my food?
That was so easy because you have made it already, so I just made a lot of pasta
and
reheated it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was good.
Yeah, it was funny because when I came home, Arne went to pick me up. And when I got home and we were having a lovely conversation, we were sitting here, we were having a very nice conversation and the dogs came and then he started talking to the dogs and then he looked at me and you looked at me and you said, wow, this is the first time in I don't know how many days that I'm actually speaking to a real human being and not only 2 dogs.
It's kind of scary. Like the first 2 days I didn't speak to anyone and then...
Not even the dogs?
There wasn't much to say. But then one day I said something to one of the dogs and then I was like, whoa, what was that? It's like someone in the room. Yeah. And then it was me speaking. So, well, it was okay. But... It's nice that you're back and you're healthy and you're cooking and...
Yeah, it was great coming back. I'm very pleased that I'm back. It's been a tough month, I have to say. I mean, it's been a good month for me, but it's been tough being away from home. And I mean, for you, without anybody to talk to for such a long time.
I talk to you 2 times a day.
Yeah, but still, it's not enough.
But on the
If it would have been me all alone here, I would have been talking to the dogs all the time, out loud.
But they don't answer you.
Yeah, and then he was, Arne decided to do the recording of the Norwegian slow TV, where he was sitting and knitting by himself while I was away. And I have to say, he sent it to me, and I just couldn't stop watching because I was so curious to see what was going to be the end result.
It's relaxing.
Very relaxing. And you guys were watching what we are seeing now. So we're sitting in this room, and we have a fireplace in front of us, and that's what you guys were seeing when he recorded that. And now you guys are watching how he sat to do the knitting. It was actually really, really cool to see you do that. But then, of course, somebody said, because Anna, who was in our team, she said that this was such a great film, but it's so quiet. And then what did you say? You came up with this wisecrack about me not being there. So of course it's going to be quiet. Carlos is not there, so it's quiet.
Yeah, because you talk more than me.
Yeah, apparently I do, yeah. And you had nothing to say while you were knitting.
No, I couldn't sit like talk to myself or the dogs or no.
Yeah.
I decided I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to knit this.
I think it annoyed some people, but most people, yeah. But most people.
But you know, if it's annoying, you can just stop it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it annoyed some people, but I would say 99.99999% loved it.
Because I watch this on YouTube sometimes.
Yeah, the fireplace videos.
I put like up these ambience videos. There's nothing happens, but maybe sometimes there's a lovely room and a fireplace, and you can hear the sound. And if I'm like in front of my computer and I'm working, why not put that up in the corner?
You know what? I mean, for me, I was at the hospital. I was all alone in my room. I spent a lot of time in my room alone in the evenings, and I had nothing to do except for reading or watching TV. And one day I just sat there and I was reading while I was looking at you knitting. So I was like kind of doing that and kind of, okay, what's he going to do now? What's going to do? And then you finished, right? The whole thing. That was the first project. And then for the second project, I was actually already home. So that one was just, a little bit of to build up a little bit of a story, right? So I decided to come in the end of the episode to say hi.
That's when I made mittens.
That's when you made the mittens, yeah. And those mittens you made while I was at the hospital.
Yeah, I finished one after you came home, and the other ones I made when you were in the hospital. So I actually made this.
These are mine.
Those are yours. These are mine. So these are like the bigger size and the medium size and the smaller size.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the smaller yet. Just I have to put in the thumb.
Yeah. So these are our home mittens that Arne knitted while I was away. The pattern is kind of like a mashup of different geometrical patterns. There's nothing. They're not really anything, are they? Just.
You know what the pattern is?
What?
It's a sketch for a sock yarn.
Oh really?
And we never use this pattern for the sock yarn.
Yeah.
So I decided to make it as a mitten pattern.
Yeah.
Because this is how the sock yarn looks like before it's knitted.
Yeah.
Like the sketches for the sock yarn.
It's really cool. I love them. They've been very popular. You can get them in our website at arnecarlos.com in case you want to knit them. And what I love about them is how they change depending on the color. The colorway that you use will really make them look different.
And also, like I use them outdoors 2 times now, and with alpaca soft, it's almost like it's felting a little bit.
Yeah, but it's nice.
So they're really, really soft and really nice after when you use them for a while.
So it's been really cold. It's been like minus 25. Yeah. So what I like doing, because I have these really nice leather gloves that are very snug, and they're very soft leather, and inside they're lined with a cashmere knitted fabric. So what I do is I put the leather glove under, and then I put the mitten on top. And the wool from the mitten really warms my leather glove so that my hands are super, super, super warm. And then I know that if I get any snow, the snow, because it's water repellent, it's going to keep the leather gloves dry, which is good because leather shouldn't get wet. It's really a great thing to do, and I love these kind of mittens now. Wear them all the time, really. Yeah. So I can't wait to start wearing these. These are medium though, so they're a little bit smaller, so they might not be comfortable enough with the leather gloves, but the ones you have...
But look at this one. This is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I might borrow those from you.
Yeah.
And then the smallest one is this one. We're now getting we're going to get the thumb in. I might actually complete these for you. So this is what you did while I was
This
away.
is what and what more did I do? I didn't do much.
Oh.
I was, no.
Didn't you go, I think you drove, didn't you go antiquing while I was away?
No, I was planning to go antiquing to this thrift store because I'm looking for these old suitcases.
Yeah,
And
antiquing. I mean, like, yeah, finding some flea market
flea
stuff.
markets. And that morning I woke up and I had my coffee and I put on the radio and I was like doing some genealogy while I was preparing for leaving the house, put on the heat on the car
Yeah.
because it was so cold outside. And then the news came and they said that there's this mutation.
Yeah, the mutant virus.
A mutant
The mutation
virus.
from the UK.
Yeah, the mutant. Yeah, it was now in Oslo and in
Oh,
the
boy.
areas around Oslo. And then I kind of panicked. I was thinking, I'm not going anywhere because this was just for fun. It wasn't necessary. So I decided to stay at home. So I didn't go anywhere because that scared me a little bit. And I didn't feel comfortable going out and being with other people, actually. But it wasn't in this area, so I could have done it, but it was a turn off.
Yeah.
So I stayed at home.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
So I didn't do that. And then I watched this YouTube. I was catching up on the YouTube videos that I like. So I watched Kate in the Last Homely House.
Oh, yeah. So did I.
Yeah, I had to catch up with
yeah.
some of the videos because I haven't seen all of them yet, and that was really nice. So I was looking at all the patchwork videos that she did and her Christmas videos, and then I watched Doing It Ourselves.
Oh, yeah, you love that one. Is that the castle in France?
And I have two series I watch. They are all. It's Michael, he has a castle, and Stephanie, she has another one. And Michael's channel is Doing It Ourselves, and Stephanie is the Chateau Diaries.
Yeah, they're very good. Yeah, you love watching those.
I like to watch them because they're renovating houses.
Yeah.
Chateaus in France, and I can relate to that because we are always renovating.
Yeah, well, they're renovating something that is 10 times the size of this one.
This is small compared to what they have.
Yeah, it is.
But I find it interesting to watch, and they do other things also. They're not only renovating; they have like dinners and parties, and
nice.
They go shopping, and sometimes they go to these flea markets in France or antique shops, which I find very interesting. And so I've been watching YouTube.
What's the other one that you watch? You watched this one on DVD. Did you watch that while I was away? Country House Rescue?
Yeah, sometimes I watch Country House Rescue. I've seen it so many times, but there's some of these houses I have to see over and over and over because there's so many nice things in those houses.
So Country House Rescue is a series from the BBC, I think, in the UK.
Yeah.
It's about these beautiful, stately homes around the UK. People who buy them and then they don't know what to do with them and they lose money on them.
And they need help because they need to fix these houses and they need money to keep them going.
Yeah, so they get these people, like really clever business people, to go in and help them with a business plan and all that. It's very, very cool.
It's very cool.
It's a really nice
And
show.
then I also watch, her name is Jerry Landers, I think.
Hop Along.
Hello.
Hop Along Hollow, yeah, that's a great...
That is also very nice because she's filming in her house. You only see her hands and she's always having tea. And then she show all these beautiful things that she collect, which I think is very nice.
The frames that she uses for the filming is are really nice.
Yeah,
you see,
but she has so many nice stuff in her house.
Beautiful.
So, I've been watching a lot of YouTube.
Yeah. So
and you?
So yeah, that was Arne. Yeah, you did.
No, you have to tell. I'm talking and talk. You have to. People are more. They want to know.
No, I think they want to know what you ate. They've all been worried about you. I've been reading comments. People were so concerned about Arne. What is Arne eating? What is Arne
I
doing?
had food.
But
I even did something very complicated one day.
Tell me.
I had sausages and fries.
Fries?
Is it pommes frites?
French fries?
French fries.
You made French fries? Well,
Yeah.
from the freezer.
From the freezer.
Yeah.
It was complicated.
Frozen fries, and then you put them in the pan in the oven, right?
Yeah.
For like half an hour.
For a while, I was like in front of the oven looking because I was so afraid I should burn it.
Is that when the electricity disappeared and the oven got screwed up?
No.
Because that also happened while I was
But
away.
that was like normal thing. That was the snow,
Okay.
I guess. But I made that. Actually, I managed to make French fries and
Well, you didn't make them. You took the bag from the freezer and you put the French fries in the pan and you put them in the
and
oven.
I had like this paper under and I was spreading them out like this and then I was watching.
Did you read the instructions when you did that?
No. I was thinking this is the way to do it.
Yeah, you're right. And what kind of sausages did you have?
The one you put in water and boil?
Oh, like
No, you boil the water and then you put them in.
Oh, like hot dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a meal as well. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I mean,
I managed to do it.
no, a lot of people, including me, were worried about you and whether you were going to be eating. Of course, I had full control. I called him up every day and I checked what he was eating, and I mean, you never told me about the potato chips until now, though.
No, but maybe the soup with the cauliflower was the most difficult I made.
Yeah, with the worms.
The worms. No, there were no worms.
Yeah, no, and for me it was different. I was at the hospital. So I went to this hospital that specializes in lung diseases. And I went there actually for rehab because of COVID. I had COVID in March of 2020. And it's been taking me a long time to recover, actually longer than what I would have hoped.
But you were very sick.
I was very sick, yeah. I lost about 14 pounds actually in weight. That became a problem because I was very weak after I spent 3 weeks in bed when I had COVID. So by the time I got up, I lost 14 or 15 pounds, which is a lot because I've never been overweight. So
and you lost all the muscles.
And that's it. What I lost was all my muscle mass. So I've been very weak. And then because I've had post-viral syndrome, I've been very low in energy. So energy's been low, which means I haven't had the strength to work out or the motivation. So I then gained the weight in fat. That has been a problem because I go out and I just lose my breath because I've been just so, I've been not in good shape in any way. Shortness of breath because of COVID previously. Problems with my lung capacity that hasn't been normal. It's been below normal or average. Memory problems, a lot of stuff. I've been dealing with a lot for almost 10 months now. And it's been tough. I mean, I've been still, we've still done the YouTube channel, which is actually the only thing I've been able to do for all these months was the YouTube channel. And other than that, I've been pretty much on sick leave and trying to get better. And going to the hospital has helped a little bit. I wouldn't say it's like you go into the hospital and you come out and you're in perfect shape again. It takes time.
Yeah. And you still have to do this like training now.
Yeah.
Now you get that for free.
Oh, it's all for free because it's Norway.
Yeah.
So I went to the hospital, and the moment I got in there, I was shown to my room, and they told me wait here, and a nurse is going to pick you up. And the nurse picked me up, and within the first 2 days, I don't know how many tests I had done, like all these blood tests and EKGs and lung tests and X-rays and on and on and on and on, just to kind of figure out what shape I was in. And it turns out I was in not as bad shape as I thought I was, because at the same time, I have been recovering. So my last lung tests before the ones I did at the hospital now were done in September. So from September to now, big difference. I am so much better. And then basically working throughout my stay there with doctors and nurses and being cared for, and also done the whole physiotherapy thing, where basically I got a kick in the butt to get up and start doing my workout. So after leaving the hospital, I feel so much better, because when you do physical activity, you get tired in a completely different way. You're like physically tired. It's a good tired. And I have been psychologically very tired, which is a bad tired. So yeah, I am better, absolutely. You know my favorite thing about the hospital? Okay, so they told me when I got there that because of the COVID restrictions, I wasn't allowed to do anything. In the past, if a patient wanted coffee or tea, they just go to the cafeteria and get it. We weren't allowed to do that because we weren't allowed in the cafeteria.
No.
Only, to the places that were given to us that we had to sit in. I'll tell you all about that in a bit. But anyway, my favorite thing was because I wasn't allowed, and I said to them, but I usually wake up very early and I'd really love a cup of tea in the morning. They said, no worries, just pull the string next to the bed, and we will, actually it was on this side.
Yeah, I saw the picture. You have like this red string from the wall.
Yeah, and just pull the string, call us, and we'll bring you whatever you need. So the first morning I was feeling a little bit embarrassed, like, should I not? Should I? I was like, but I really want a cup of tea. They won't let me do it. I'll do it. I pull the string. Nurse comes. She asks me if everything's all right. Do I need anything? And I was very embarrassed. But I said in the kindest way, is it possible? Maybe could I perhaps get a cup of tea? And she said, of course. We'll bring it right away. She went and she brought me my tea. And then by the third morning, all I needed to do was ring that
How
little
many
bell.
times could you do that in the morning?
I did it only once. But every morning when I rang for the nurse, she would bring me my tea without me even asking.
And you were not allowed to be close to other people, or
No.
did you wear a mask indoors?
So COVID restrictions were in place, and they were very strict. And there was this whole, information lecture on the first day. We were allowed to go out of the hospital area. We were allowed to take walks if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
However, we were not allowed to go into any store or any supermarket. And if we passed somebody in the street, or if we met, by haphazard, if we met somebody we knew, we had to keep 6 feet apart, even outdoors. We were not allowed to go into to any store. I was hoping that I was going to be allowed to come home on the weekends, but that was forbidden because I had to stay there all the time. Unfortunately, I didn't know this, but we weren't. I thought I would be allowed to visit my family there or our family there, but it was forbidden, and I could not receive any visitors, so Arne couldn't come either. Very, very strict restrictions. Then we were 2 cohorts. The patients on the first floor were 1 cohort, and the second floor was another cohort or bubble. And there were actually less patients than usual. So there were only 6 patients on floor 1, including me, and 6 on the second floor. Each patient had his or her own table for meals. So we sat on tables 6 feet or 2 meters apart from each other.
So that's 2 meters.
Yeah, so we had to yell or talk loudly to communicate with the other people. And that was half of the dining room. Then the other half of the dining room was 6, comfortable chairs and 6 coffee tables. And they were also 2 feet apart to watch TV. And I was unlucky because mine was at the way back. So the TV was so far away, and then everybody was yep.
Yeah, that's
talking.
why you were in the room a lot of
Yeah, so I spent a lot of my evening in the room watching, Netflix and all those things on my computer because it was more quiet, and the TV was too far away, basically. And in the beginning, when I arrived, everybody was wearing, all the medical personnel were wearing face masks.
Because when you arrived, it was a lot of restrictions.
Yeah, the restrictions were very high strict when I arrived at the hospital. But eventually they started lifting the restrictions, the government. So after a few days, the staff was no longer wearing face masks. I don't know how this is dealt with in different countries, but I know that every country has their own point of view. In Norway, we don't have to wear a mask indoors if we can keep 2 meters or 6 feet.
1 meter, some
Two.
places. Is it 2 meters?
Well, in the hospital 2.
But in the grocery shop, I think it's 1 meter.
Yeah, but we have to keep distance, and the most important thing they say in Norway is hand hygiene. And the Norwegian government is concerned about the wearing of masks as false security, like you wear a mask and then you're less careful. So the Norwegian government is only encouraging and actually compulsory mask wearing only in situations where you can't keep your distance. So if you're indoors and you can't keep the 6 feet or 2 meters apart, then you have to wear a mask. It's compulsory.
Like public
spaces, and also maybe here if we have some. No, we're not allowed guests right now. Or 2.
Now we can have up to 5.
Up to 5 guests, but
I think it's up to 5 guests.
Socially distanced.
You have to have like at least 1 meter distance.
Yeah.
I think.
So everything's different in different countries. This is the Norwegian way of dealing with a crisis. Keep in mind that Norway has very few cases compared to many other countries. I think total number of deaths up to now is 500 in Norway, which is a lot less. It's too much in my opinion, but it's a lot less than in most countries.
But in Norway it's also different from different areas, because like in this area there is nothing now, and in our neighboring area where we go shopping there are quite a few actually who has the virus.
Yeah.
So if we go shopping down there, we have to wear a mask when we go into the grocery store.
So we don't go there.
Or anywhere. So we try not to go there because we don't have to go there. But, you know, there was like a lot of people who, like when I panicked, when I was on my way out, there was a lot of people who came up from Oslo to stay in their cottages.
Yeah.
And then I knew those people.
And they brought it with them.
They will go to that shopping center, so I didn't go there.
But our region or our community or our area, our county and the next county, there is 0 cases right now per 100,000 inhabitants. And also the county where I was at the hospital, 0 cases.
But you were very optimistic when you went. You were like, oh, I'm going to the spa or something, like to a retreat, because you brought how many books?
Well, I bought
3 books?
I thought I was going on holiday, so I took a lot of books with me.
You had sock yarn and the needles.
Oh, and I had a great wardrobe as well for my spa retreat. My spa holiday.
And you have a sketchbook and a lot of pencils.
I didn't have time to do anything.
You read a few pages in the book, I guess.
Yeah, I was super busy. No, I read about 100 pages.
100 pages.
Which is a lot considering my memory.
In one of the books.
Yeah, so anyway, I had a very busy program, a lot of testing in the beginning of my stay there. They also wanted to test my lungs in terms of what my lung capacity was without medication. And then I had tests where I had to take certain asthma medications to see if the medication had any effect on my capacity, because they're trying to figure a lot of things out. All these blood tests and all these chats with the doctors, and it was a lot of that in the beginning. First they were masked for the first 3 days, and then after 3 days the restrictions were lifted and they didn't wear masks, so I had to kind of get to know everybody again, because they look different without the masks, obviously. Everybody looks the same when they're masked. So I had a lot of that, and then every day there was a workout program with the physiotherapists. They kind of made the program kind of adapted to me, like I got my own kind of tailor-made program, which was really cool. And then in the afternoons we had all these lectures. We had to learn a lot about different things, like how to live with lung disease, and how to I can't remember half the lectures I went to, because that's also one of my issues. My memory is a little bit screwed up, so there's a short-term memory.
You have it written down somewhere.
I have. Oh yeah, I brought all the papers with me. But it was a great stay. It's interesting though, I have to say, the memory thing. For example, when I was at the hospital, I had a program and it had the meal times on it, and every single day I had to look like 4 or 5 times at the program to kind of get the meals right, because I'd read it and then I'd forget, and then it's like, oh, when's lunch? And you think, after a few weeks,
you remember.
But I couldn't remember. Now, when I'm here, I remember. So breakfast, we had 4 meals a day. Breakfasts at 8. Then there was a lunch from around 10:30 until 12. And then the main meal was at 3 p.m. And then the light supper was at 7.
That's how it was when I grew up.
Yeah, this is the old-fashioned way of eating.
And I think it's a healthy way of eating.
Yeah, the food was very traditional, old-fashioned Norwegian food. It was so good. We had a chef there. There's a chef at the hospital. And that's, you have public health care in Norway. It's free. And because it's the Norwegian government, you get a chef to cook for you. Incredible. And the chef actually would also change the meals depending on, there was a lady there. She was like allergic to everything. And so he had to kind of adapt her meal to her. And then there was a whole station for people who actually need to gain weight, because I didn't know this, but apparently, because I'm not a doctor, but when you have lung diseases, it actually impacts on your weight, so you lose weight. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are underweight and they need to
have special food
for them. So the chef is kind of doing a lot of different kinds of meals. I was on the regular meal program because I don't have any particular allergies and I eat everything. and I really loved the food that they were giving, and I think it shows because I've gained a few extra
And I
pounds.
remember when you one evening we talked together on the phone, and then you said, "And everything is free."
Yeah.
I think you didn't know that, or you
Well,
thought maybe you should pay something yourself, like.
well,
call that?
usually in Norway, you'll pay a small fee when you go to the doctor or when you get healthcare. You'll pay like, say you pay $15 for a consultation, and the rest is covered by the government. So they make you pay a small amount, and then once you have paid about $250 a total. So say that you've been to the doctors 20 times or something like that, and after those 20 times you've paid $250, then it's free for the rest of the year. You get a free card. So I thought that because I was going to this rehab, that I would be paying $15 a day, and then by the time I reached the $250, it would be free. However, it turned out that, and I didn't know this, but because I was going to the hospital, it's classified as a hospital, not as a rehab center. So the hospital's free. So I didn't have to pay a single anything. It was my bill was zero, which is amazing considering.
And now you get this thing once a week.
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
I'm going.
Training thing?
Yeah, I'm going to physiotherapy here now.
Private.
It's kind of like having no, it's a public.
Public, but you have your own trainer.
Yeah, well, no, it's my physiotherapist, and now we're doing all these different workouts, like weightlifting and stuff like that.
And you have one person following you, like telling you.
She's my physiotherapist, and for now I'm paying her about $15 per time.
So you will be like a knitting hunk.
Well, it's gonna be after I've been there a few more times. It's gonna be free. So
you have to take your shirt off now for the next
when
time
I knit?
we do knitting.
No, I don't think so. I'm always so cold. I don't like taking my shirt off.
You will be like the handy hunk.
No, I'm not gonna do that. You can do that.
No, but I'm not doing any training.
Well, you could join me, or I can show you when I get home.
I'm too lazy.
Yeah. So anyway, now I'm back. I'm feeling better. I have more energy. I'm still on sick leave until the end of the month. After that, I aim to start working again 100%. And things are getting better and better. I had a great stay at the hospital. I tried to kind of think about it as a luxury spa retreat. It was not that, but actually it helped. It helped make it better. You kind of have to always do the best of the situation you're in if you can. I mean, sometimes it's all, but sometimes if you can just, use your positive thinking.
I think it was good for
things
you.
Things work out.
I think it was good for you.
It was great.
Because you could relax, you had that training, people made food for you. That's not happening at home.
No, I have to cook all my meals here.
Yeah, so I think it was good for you.
Yeah, and now now I think the main thing is continue doing exercise, because the exercise is gonna help me rebuild my muscle mass, and also the exercise makes me tired in a good way. It makes me physically tired, which is nice.
And we got the snowshoes we bought in America back from the color, and I think you enjoy doing that, because
I'm loving that.
We've been walking on the lake in the snow, which we normally don't do, but it's been so cold, and the moose has been on the lake, so I think it's fine. And when you were out walking up and down that hill a few days ago, and I was watching you when you came across the lake, and you looked so happy. I think you like it.
I love the snowshoes, and right now, because we already had proof this morning that if you can have these ginormous moose walking around the ice, as you saw in the beginning of this video, of course we can also walk on the ice. So I love walking on the lake, because when you're standing in the middle of the lake and the weather is amazing, like it's been now, nice and sunny, and you get that sun, and it actually makes you feel so good.
Yeah, yesterday it was almost like spring. I had that spring feeling when I was digging snow around the greenhouse, because it was kind of warm in the sun.
Yeah, and it's cold, but the sun warms you up because it's a dry heat. So it's really lovely.
But I think the snowshoes is a very good. I did a good buy there.
Yeah, actually, you bought a pair of antique snowshoes. They're bear paw, We've shown them before.
And the leather was rotten, so we couldn't use them.
Yeah, and then we made a cobbler remake the kind of part where you put your shoe in. So it's all been redone, and the cost for the old snowshoes and the cobbler equals probably one pair of cheap snowshoes, modern, one pair, and for that same cost we got 2 pairs.
And
so it's a really good deal.
And they're beautiful.
They're beautiful and they are fully functional, which is the
and it's very
main
good.
thing.
It's like a workout when you walk with them. Like when you go uphill, you really have to lift your feet.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. So hopefully, as this year progresses, I will be hopefully getting better and better. I don't know if I'm going to ever take my shirt off though.
But your lung capacity is better now.
Yes, it's much better.
Isn't it up to normal again, or
it's just gotten into the normal bracket.
Yeah, because you were under, or
yeah, I've been way under. My lungs were really bad for a long time, but now my lung capacity is over 80%. So 80% is kind of like the normal. Everything above 80% is considered normal, and I'm there now. And yeah, now I'm only gonna be getting better and better, I hope. And now that I started working out, I think it's just fantastic. So yeah, things are looking pretty good.
Things are good.
Yeah. And
yeah.
So I was wondering, anything new that you bought while I was away?
What did I buy? I got this machine.
Yeah.
Actually, I was very back. Should I do this or should I not do it? Because you need plastic, and I'm a little bit against using so much plastic.
Well, it depends how you use the plastic on.
Yeah, we try to bring our own bags when we go shopping.
I mean, plastic
those bags are horrible, but then
you think about it this way.
Look at this.
Think about it this way, Arne. Plastic bags and things that are disposable that you use and you throw away immediately, that's not good.
No.
But this is something you're not going to throw away.
I had to do this because we have all these old patterns, and these are from magazines we bought in Mexico City, and they are so fragile, they're almost breaking up, and there's a lot of nice letters. So we have a few of these, and I was thinking I have to save this.
Yeah, you did.
And then I suddenly remember you can do this laminate.
Yeah.
And
so you bought a machine to laminate things.
I went into a shop when I left you in the hospital. I went to the shop and I bought this laminate thing. And I'm so happy with this because now we can use this.
Yeah, but you know what?
You can even spill coffee on it.
Yeah,
and
which we do a lot.
Yeah.
So this is really a choice, I mean, you can either use these old sheets of paper until they're no longer with us, and then or you can save them forever by laminating them with plastic.
But we use this as inspiration, so it's so handy to have them like this. And
so I think that this is okay.
This is okay. I say this is okay. Okay?
Yeah.
And then we also have this book. We talked a lot about this book. This is the Anniken Sibern-Bøhn, the Norwegian.
We actually have here.
Yeah, the Norwegian knitting patterns. So this one.
So hang on. Okay, so this one here, this is the valuable one. This one is from 1929. This is when the book was published.
Yeah, and this is.
It's intact.
I think that's something we found in a second-hand shop.
Yeah, the whole book is intact. Every single page is okay. It's in good condition. And then we have the version from 1947. This is the second edition that was reprinted. And this one we got during
That's
one of our...
from a second-hand shop in Tromsø.
Yeah.
In one of our cruises with the Hurtigruten.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, this one is different because the first one is just the patterns.
Yeah.
But in the old one, the newer one, there's also in the back, you have patterns for different garments. And in this book, the person who owned this had put a lot of old papers in the book. So this is from Hardangersøm.
Yeah.
So these I really like.
So we got a few extra bonuses.
Yeah.
What's this?
That's always fun when you buy. This is also beautiful.
This is an embroidery. So lucky us to find these things inside.
Yeah. So But what's this? More Hardanger.
Yeah.
But we had 2 of these books, and this book was
the third
actually
one.
the third one is the same one as that one, and
It's the
this one
40s?
was 47.
Yeah.
And this one actually was
Torn up.
broken.
It was
It
so
was
broken,
torn
yeah.
up, and then I decided, like, if I have that machine, we can actually keep these 2 in like in a safe place, and we don't have
Yeah.
to touch them anymore. And then I took all the pages from this book
And laminated them.
and laminated them. So now we can have this in the studio, and we can put like
Yeah.
tape on them, and we can use them as inspiration.
So now we have
I'm so
one.
happy with this.
Yeah. So one edition from 1929, and one edition from 1947 that we can actually store and keep safe, so that we have these in our library.
Yeah.
And then we have now, because the third one was so destroyed, we have now a third edition, which is a work edition. So
Yeah.
that's really great.
It's so nice, like if you not have any ideas, just go through this and you can make variation on.
So we've
All
talked
that.
about this book a lot. This is what we would call our knitting Bible. This is the book that we have used over and over again as a pattern reference stitch library,
Yeah.
I would call it. We're not the only ones that use it. Most people in Norway who design, most designers use it, and have been since the 50s. So it was reprinted in the 40s. The woman
I think
who
the first one was in the 20s.
Yeah.
The first book.
So the woman who designed the among others the Cortina sweater, who was the mother of Marius, was it Bitten Eriksson?
No, she did the Cortina, didn't she?
She designed. Yeah, well, I'm talking about the designers in the 50s, like her.
Oh, yeah,
She the mother of Marius. Marius is a sweater. So his mother designed several sweaters, including the Cortina.
Yeah.
For the
because she
Olympics?
didn't do that. She did the
Yeah, but my point,
The loopy.
Arne, what I'm getting to is that a lot of those designers in the 50s, they also use this
Yeah.
book. So this book has been around for a long time, and it's been used by designers of all generations here in Norway. But anyway, it's good to have these as they are. And if you want to get a copy of this in English, it's available. It's called Norwegian Knitting Patterns. I'm not going to put a website out there, but just Google Norwegian Knitting Patterns and Anniken Sibben-Bøhn, and you will be able to find it. I'm going to write the name of the author and the title of the book on our blog, but I'm not going to link to anything because you guys can figure that out. And actually, there's another possibility. Our publisher, Trafalgar Square Books, they published this book from a Norwegian designer. It's called in Norwegian. It's called Norske strikkemønstre.
Norwegian knitting pattern.
Yeah, or Inspirerande norska strikkemønstre, and it's actually the same title as this book. In English, it's called Norwegian Knitting Patterns, which is the same title as the book, 90 years after. So it's called Norwegian Patterns, 90 years after. And the designer is Wenche Roald. And this book is also published by Trafalgar, our publisher. And if you get this book, and then in the back, there's a little pocket. And in here, there's a soft cover version of the book.
It was a soft cover. That is somewhere up in the studio.
Yeah.
We have it somewhere.
And that will give you the modern
It's
knitting.
a reprint of that.
Yeah, so this one will give you the modern version, which is this book, with the old version inside. I think that this author, Wenche Roald, I think she is connected to Anniken Sibben-Bøhn somehow.
Maybe.
I don't know how, but I think that they are, if they're not related, at least she has permission from, I don't know the relationship, but there is one. So I'm going to put the name of this author, the name of the publishing house as well, so that you can get this book in English, because it is already translated. And then you will get automatically a copy of the other one.
But this is so nice. Just look at these mittens.
Yeah.
That's what you get. And then it says, after the cast on, knit, make 2 knit and 2 purl, as long as you want the cuff. That's it. So the rest you have to look at the picture.
Yeah.
So this is made for experienced knitters.
Oh, definitely.
There's so little information, but I think it's so cool. So, and also, here's another pattern. This pattern,
Yeah. Let me.
that's the pattern I'm wearing.
There you go. That one there. That's the pattern on Arne's cardigan.
Because when we work in the fashion business, we used a lot of the old Norwegian patterns we found in her book. So this is that pattern, and then this one is the other. So we combined these two patterns and made these designs.
Yeah.
So that was really, we worked a lot with that book, and that was really fun.
And these are actually old traditional Norwegian patterns. They may be known or less known, but they're actually part of the cultural heritage, and they're there for all of us to use. Although we do find it important to credit the source. So always when we do a pattern based on tradition, we'll write in the pattern and also that it is a traditional design. So we'll do, like for example, hat with traditional exo pattern, then you know that the exo pattern is not ours. The design of the hat is ours, but not the pattern
sometimes
itself.
sometimes we can do our version of the X and the O, but if we find the X and O in a book, we will say that it came from...
it came from this book or that.
Like when we did the book with the knitted Christmas balls, there's a lot of old patterns we found that actually was good for Christmas. So in the book we actually wrote which pattern it came from.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
Yeah, crediting the source is very important. I mean, it's...
But we liked to combine these two because we haven't seen those used on garments before. So we did that in this collection. But this was machine made.
So this is also from Anniken Siebenbøn's books. Now, how cute is this little creature
And you remember,
here?
Carlos, we went to the museum in Fagernes, not far from here, to the archives where they have all the mittens and all the fabric. And we saw, I think we saw a pair of mittens with that pattern.
Yeah,
was it a picture of the mittens?
No, it wasn't a pair of mittens with this pattern. And they were around... They were circa 1920 something, so they were as old as the book.
But I think this is a really good source for patterns, and Anniken Siebenbøn, she did a really great job collecting all these things because this is very good. And she also made designs herself, but she didn't do any of this. You can see on the old pictures. Yeah. But in the 1947 edition. This one, there are, as I said, there are some patterns in the back, and these are her designs. So this is a very nice thing. So I had a lot of fun making this, and it's easier to work with them when you have them in the laminate.
How cute are those little guys and girls running around?
And look on the other side.
Yeah, somebody's been scribbling.
Someone has made the drawing of her or his hand. That's what kids do. Yeah. That's so cute.
So anyway, fantastic book. We have preserved one for the afterlife here, I think, because this is never going to break down in nature.
No.
Oh, and then I love these as well. So they are Norwegian patterns, but as you all know now, after listening to us talk about it a lot, these patterns have actually moved all over the world. So they're universal. I mean, like these little ladies and gentlemen who are dancing there, I think you could find very similar things in the Baltic region, like Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and all across Northern Europe, really.
I think they're all over.
They're all over. The Eitley roses, the Selbu, the Halling, they're all around. But
some of these patterns I've never seen on garments. And it's a great source for inspiration because you can always look at these and make variations of it.
Here's the reindeer again.
And that is Anniken Siebenbøn design.
So we're planning on taking you guys eventually. I don't know when we'll do it, but at one point we're going to take you to some of the museums in Norway and do some filming there to show you some of the archives of knitting. There's a lot of wonderful knitting around that hopefully we will be able to get the museum people to show us.
Things.
Yeah, when COVID is over. Although going into an archive and getting locked in by a curator is actually pretty COVID-free.
That's pretty COVID-free.
Yeah, you can just hang out there on your own and together with all the knitting.
And keep the distance.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's another thing I was doing. But what were you watching on YouTube? You have your own series, I guess.
Yeah. Kate from the last Homely House, sorry.
Yeah.
I needed to catch up with Kate as well. So I was watching that. Nowness is one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's called Nowness.
I also watch that sometimes. That's really good.
It's a lifestyle channel with a lot of art and design and interior design and architecture, which are things I really adore. I am very, very interested in interior design. So yeah, and I watched a lot of Architectural Digest.
Yeah.
Because I think they have great videos of great interiors around the world. So yeah, that was what I was watching on my computer.
And I was watching these scary movies. But that was during daytime.
Yeah, you said that.
And there was a Danish one that was so spooky. It was like very disturbing. And then an English one. Very disturbing.
I'm not gonna watch those. I'm not.
But I couldn't watch them after dark. Like if I had to walk out with the dogs or if I had to pick up wood for the fireplace, then it's a little bit spooky.
Yeah.
When it's so dark outside. But it was okay to watch during daytime.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I would have, if I would have watched them in the daytime, I would have gotten scared by the evening because, I kind of wind myself up all the time. So I'm glad I didn't see those. No, I was just watching a lot of YouTube and some Netflix and, stuff that we wouldn't usually not watch together. I thought I'll take the opportunity now that I'm on my own to watch these things.
Now we're back to normal.
Now we're back to normal. Everything's back to normal. Podcast is coming back every week. Sunday videos are now new. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
And for the second video that you were knitting in front of the fireplace, it's called Still Knitting in Front of the Fireplace.
Okay.
You did the home mittens that we talked about.
Yeah.
But what were you doing in the first video?
The first one I was making a new square. I don't know how long I should do these squares, but I still have a lot of leftover yarns. And maybe I have to put all the squares out now and see how big it is and just make a decision. I have to find a certain amount of squares and stop. Or we can discuss it later. Maybe if I have half of the blanket now, maybe we should do a round two where we knit the same, so we can have the same square 2 times.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start counting how many squares we have.
I have to check how many.
But now that we've shown this square, we're gonna just put this close to the screen again. As you can see, it's quite a nice square. I think. Can I give it a name?
I also have a suggestion.
Well,
let me hear yours.
Still Knitting in Front of the Fireplace.
That's a good one.
What was your name?
Waiting for Carlos.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm here now.
You're here now, so.
And we could both of us knit in front of the fireplace. So.
Still knitting in front of the fireplace.
Is that the name?
It's the name.
Okay, we're gonna call this Still Knitting in Front of the Fireplace. We're gonna give you the pattern. It's gonna be on today's blog post. So go to arnecarlos.com and then select blog from the menu. And then go to Sit and Knit for a Bit. Today's episode. I still haven't decided if it's going to be episode so-and-so or season 2, episode 1.
Do season 2 and episode 1 because then it's easier for you to remember.
That's true. That's true. So
and I can keep those squares in the new box on the computer. So
go to arnecarlos.com, select the blog, go in there and get that pattern. It's going to be downloadable as a PDF for free. So you can get that and you can continue your blocks if you're knitting them. And and since you're there, why don't you just go and check out all the other cool patterns that we have in our web shop at arnecarlos.com that I'm sure you will enjoy.
I have to say, I did another thing while you were away.
Okay.
I bought these big bones for the dogs.
Oh, the bones.
And especially Helmet, he was eating the bone in the sofa in the other room.
Yeah.
And that was messy.
Oh,
so I had to wash the pillows in the sofa because
you washed them in the machine?
No, by hand.
By hand, okay.
So now you know.
Yeah, well.
I had to fix things.
I didn't notice anything.
No, because I washed it. Because in the end, I managed to make him understand that he had to be on the floor while he was eating that bone. Because it was so messy. And he still had these things around his mouth. Yeah, we need to wash his face, poor thing. And that's the bone. Yeah. Again. So if you guys haven't been with us for before and you don't know Helmer is our long-term guest. He's been here since September and he's lovely. He's a poodle,
a standard poodle, and then Freya is the other poodle. She actually belongs to us.
Yeah. And he's a grey poodle.
Well, they say he's gonna get grey.
He's changing now. I think he's changing color now. He has like more light black. But he's actually... His parents are grey, and he was bought as a grey poodle.
But he's...
and they should change color around maybe 2-3 years or something.
Well, he's 2 years old now.
He's 2 years, and now he's starting to be grey in the face.
We'll see.
So maybe in a year, we have one grey and one black.
Well, that depends if he's here in a year. He's still a guest.
He can stay.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, of
He's
course
so
you do.
cute.
So do I. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
He's a sweet, very mellow guy. Very, very mellow.
She's more cranky.
She's the boss.
The little one, she's the boss.
She's the boss. Anyway, it's been quite an adventurous day. I mean, what a start to the day, waking up in front of those moose. And look at the dogs now. They're so exhausted after doing nothing for the whole day.
I think we should stop now because I don't know. I don't have much more to say right now.
No.
And it's like a warm beginning on the
Yeah.
season 2 of Sit and Knit for a bit.
Exactly. So this is our first podcast, and we're just warming up. Next week, we'll bring you a good show again, I hope.
And maybe there have been a lot of things happening. You never know.
Yeah, in our lives.
Yeah.
So anyway, just a quick formality. We hope you enjoyed this podcast. We hope you got some knitting or crocheting or whatever done. If you like the episode, give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to comment, engage with the episode. That really helps us a lot. Click on the notification bell. That way you'll never miss an episode, because sometimes we post on off days. Usually we post on Sundays and on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And please join the member or the subscriber family of ARNE CARLOS. It's a growing family. And again, the more subscribers we have, the better our YouTube channel will go. And the more we are able to provide this content to you guys for free. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
So
okay.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you
watching.
for watching.
And we will see you again
on Sunday.
On Sunday for a new episode. And then we'll see you again next Wednesday for a new episode of Sit and Knit for a Bit.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.